Shalom, y'all. Welcome to Chi Chi Global, and I'm Chi Chi, and today we're going to be talking about the producer versus the consumer mindset, and that is so important for us today. But before we get started, I want to thank all of those who have subscribed to this channel. You hit the thumbs up button, you have the bell notification turned on, and you are watching all of our videos, and I pray that it's been a blessing to you. If you have not subscribed, this channel is all about mindset, money, and motivation. And so if you're into that sort of thing, if you're wanting to improve the way you're thinking, feeling, your focus, your concentration, if you're stuck in a certain area, you're falling down because of self-limiting beliefs, you're ready to upgrade your mindset because your mindset affects your motivation and your money, then you come to the right channel. And this is a channel based on the foundational truth of the Word of the living God. So if that is you, and so that you can be a part of our great community, okay? But thank you so much for watching. Now let's get on to the video. So I said that we're going to be talking about the consumer or the producer mindset. I want to go ahead and read the definition to you of what is a consumer, what is a producer, so that you'll understand, we'll be on the same page, because I don't want to just take for granted that you and I are understanding how these words are defined, right? So the word consumer, and excuse me, I'll be looking a little bit to my right, I'm looking at my notes on my computer. A producer is a person, a company, or a country that makes, grows, or supplies goods or commodities for sale, okay? I'll read it again. A producer is a person that makes, grows, or supplies goods or commodities for sale. So that's someone that makes it grows, right, and produces goods, for sale. Then we have what we call the consumer mindset, right? And what is that? A consumer is a person that eats or uses something. They just consume it. So we're on the same page. So now you understand that the producer is the one that puts the things, that builds it, grows it in order for you to go and get it. And the consumer is the person that goes out to buy the thing that the producer actually created for them to be able to buy. Then you have, once again, the word mindset. Okay, so let's look at the word mindset in its definition. It says mindset is the established set of attitudes held by someone. It's the established set of attitudes held by someone. That means that your mindset is heavily affected by your attitude, okay? And I don't want to take for granted that we understand what attitude is, because it's not always that type of thing. It's not always about that. It's about your attitude. So let me read the definition of that as well. And that is attitude. It is a settled way of thinking or feeling about someone or something. Okay, typically one that is reflected in a person's behavior. So your attitude affects your behavior, how you act, or how you react. So it's a settled way of thinking or feeling about someone or something, and it typically is the one that is reflected in your behavior. Okay, and so your attitude is reflected in your behavior, and all of these things have to do with mindset. Okay, so your mindset has a lot to do with how you act, how you feel, and how you perform. Okay, so don't get it twisted. You think that you can separate your feelings from who you are, separate your behavior from who you are, and you can separate, yourself as if you're have a split personality or something. But you are who you are, and your actions are going to betray the attitude, and your actions are going to betray the behavior in which your mind is going to propel it on the screen of life. Okay, so basically, however you feel, your behavior, your attitude, your thoughts, your emotions, and all of that is going to be projected on the screen of life. It's going to be what people actually see about you. So it's not always about what you say, it's about what you actually do. Your actions speak louder than words, okay? And so with that being said, because we look at all of these things through the eyes of the Word of God, I want to take you to our foundational truth, okay? And the foundational truth, I have several of them, but today the main one is going to be coming from Proverbs chapter 23, 7a, the very first part of that verse. And it says, "For as he thinketh in his heart, so is he." Proverbs chapter 23, verse 7. And it's not just about he, him, or it's about all of us. It's about how we think in our heart, so are we, so do we perform, so do we go. You know, our heart is the very center of our emotions. It's the very center of how we feel. That's why the Bible says that the heart is deceitful. Who can know it? You know, only the Father knows your heart, because even you will say, why did I say that? Why do I think that? Why do I feel this way? The heart is the very center of your emotions. And so therefore, you want to make sure that you're guarding your heart. You want to make sure that you're guarding, you know, what is going into that heart. Therefore, it's really the heart and the mind are connected. You see, the brain is the center of the body. It's the communication center of the body that makes everything flow and happen. So the heart and the brain operate together. You know, so if something's going on inside of your feelings and emotions, the brain is going to interpret it, and then you're going to act it out. You're going to make it happen. You're going to show those emotions, those feelings, sadness, happiness, you know, gloom, doom, you know, no hope, great hope, hopeful, hopeless. All of that stuff is going to be reflected from how you are going to show it on the screen of life, like I said. And so the things that are going into this mind, the things that are going into the brain, is what's happening inside of this heart. And the brain is sending that communication through the body. Therefore, your actions are going to show how you feel. Remember, it's an informational center, the heart. So that's why you have to guard it. And that's why you have to guard what comes through here first, the mind. Because the mind is the thing that takes everything in, and it begins to create how you're thinking, creates how you start to begin to feel, how you know your behavioral changes, and then it begins to show off in your actions. Okay? It's very hard to cover up. You know, some people think they do a good job when they're just they think they can act their way out of feeling a certain way or act their way out of thinking a certain thought. But some people wear their emotions right on their face. You know, they just can't help it, you know. And so therefore we have to be very careful of what we're thinking, what's going into our mind, and then from our mind filtering into our heart and planting a seed there. Every thought is a seed. So we have to go back to the mind. The reason why we got to all these things is because we're talking about mindset. The mindset affects what? Your attitude and your behaviors. So let's get to the consumer. The consumer is all about what? Consuming things. They don't ever think about having enough. They have an unsatiable appetite. A consumer is not thinking about building anything. A consumer is only considering what's in it for me. How can I go and get this bag? How can I go out and make things happen for me? This was created for me to eat. This was created for me to wear. You know, they never are considering the gifts and talents that are within them to say, what can I create? What can I produce? What have the Most High God put inside of me that is valuable, of a gift and a talent that I can bring something to the world, that I can bring value to people, that I can bring value to a business, or I can bring value to a relationship. And so therefore, if you always have a consumer mindset, it's a very selfish mindset, because you're always thinking about what people can do for you. But if you have a producer mindset, you're always thinking about how you can actually create some type of value, how you can create something that's going to help people. You're always thinking as a problem solver. You're always thinking about, what can I create that's going to help this person with step 1? And when they have an issue with step 1, then how can I help them with step 2? And then how can I help them with step 3 and step 4? That producer is always thinking about how they can be fruitful and multiply. We're back to Genesis chapter 1. What did the Father tell us to do? He told us to be fruitful and multiply. He didn't tell us to go and be consumers and eat all the time. He didn't say go be consumers and cut all the trees down and use it for yourself. Go and plant all the seeds and eat them up and eat everything around you. He didn't say that. He didn't say go forth and wait for somebody to create something and maybe you'll like it so you can use it. That's not what the Father has in mind for us. He created each and every one of us to be producers. He created each and every one of us to give something back to what we have been given. He's given us great things. He's given us great gifts. He's given us great talents. Now, what are we going to give back from the gifts and talents he's given to us? It's very important because we're always looking at a way. You are human, made in the image of God. You were made to be a creator. Therefore, you were made to be a producer. And therefore, you were made to be fruitful and multiply. What are you waiting on? What do you have that you can produce for the world? What do you have that you can produce for your family? What do you have that you can produce for a business? What do you have that you can produce for your friends? What do you have that you can bring to the world that will bring value to someone, that will bring hope to someone, that will bring joy to someone, that will bring excitement to someone? There is something inside of you that the Father has put there for you to bring forth. You were put here for a purpose. You were put here on purpose. And there is a purpose that you must do before you leave here. And it's not about consuming everything to your own flesh. It's not about waiting for someone to create something so that you can have something. Everything that you see around us, the camera that I'm speaking on, these earrings that I'm wearing, this necklace that I'm wearing, this shirt, all of this stuff was created by someone in their imagination. They were thinking about producing something, and it started with nothing, and it eventually became what? A product. A product. We're talking on YouTube right now. Someone imagined a platform where people can actually come out and make their little channels like TV channels to be able to put their message out there to the world. They had it in their mind and they wanted to produce it. It didn't come to fruition right off, but eventually they got with the right people, and then people got with the right people, and everybody got excited about it. And now you're looking at me here on YouTube, and it's a service. But you can see me producing this video for you. So you have to consider, have I been being selfish? Is there something inside of me that the Most High has been speaking to me this whole time that he wants me to get out to the world? Think about it. Think about it. So many items are waiting to be created. So many ideas are out there. Listen, money is an idea. Don't forget that. Money is not these little green paperbacks that you're getting out of the bank. And if you're in another country, they're probably red and purple and blue. If you're not in the U.S., they're not all green. But money is not this paper item or even the digits that's in your bank account. That's not money per se. That's an exchange item that we use because we have claimed that to be of value to everyone. But money comes from here. Money comes from an idea. Money comes from a thought. Money comes from, let me see what I can create that people will want or value. What can I create that will solve a problem for someone? What can I create? It could be anything. It could be anything. It could be a product or a service. But you have something in here that the Father has put these gifts inside of you that you need to produce. And by you producing this thing, it's going to make room for you for other things to come alive. So you must remember that you are not to sit down at home in your comfort zone like a couch potato, allowing the enemy to put these random thoughts that are not yours into your head and making you feel like you're not creative enough, making you feel like you're not thoughtful enough, making you feel like you don't understand enough, making you feel like you don't know enough. Look, there's YouTube University and Google University. There's all kind of different classes online like Udemy and all these different places, Teachable. There's no reason why you would sit there and say you cannot learn. You're not doing it because you don't want to. Just let's say that. Let's say I'm lazy, I'm complacent, and I don't want to do right now. Or let's just say at this point in time, you might just be ignorant to something. You may not have the skill developed. So maybe it's time for you to get up and begin to learn that skill so you can bring your wonderful, magnificent ideas to the forefront so that the world can see what you have. Everyone has something to give. You may not be as good as the next person, but you were put here to produce something. So let's go. What are you waiting on? You're not supposed to let life just pass you by and not do anything. It's time for you to get up and do something. We're in 2023. We don't know how much more time we have before this world ends, but you will answer to the Almighty Creator. One day when you stand before Him, He's going to want to know, what did you do for Him? He gave us so much. We got to get ready. We've got to get going to do what He has called us to do. You are a producer and you have been commanded to be fruitful and multiply. There is no reason why you cannot create that wealth, that generational wealth that you're supposed to leave for your family. Remember, Scripture says, a good man leaveth what? An inheritance for his children and his children's children. And He's not just talking about just men. Some people may be single parent. So He's talking about you too, ladies. It's time for us to stop making excuses. It's time for us to stop consuming everything to our own self. And it's time for us to get out of that selfish mode and that comfort zone and get up and begin to produce and multiply. It's not about addition. Our Father is about an abundance mindset. It's about multiplication. When He wants you to multiply, He wants you to be fruitful. You can look at an apple tree and tell how many apples is on that tree. But when you get an apple, can you tell me how many trees is within that apple? See, that's you. You are that apple. You are that beautiful gift that the Most High God has created and brought into this world. And He has planted some good seed in you. And you are good soil. And listen to me. Look at this camera. I'm talking to you. You are good soil. And you have been meant to produce. You are good soil and you have been meant to be fruitful and multiply. You are good soil and you have been meant to go out and create. Go forward and do what the Father has called you to do. No more excuses. No more excuses. You are not a consumer. You only consume when you need to. I used to tell my kids this all the time, especially my boys. You don't live to eat, you eat to live. Okay, that's when you want to consume something. You're not living to be eating everything. You're eating to live. Well, hey, stop being one of those people that sit back in the back of the back seat of the back of the bus with your hands on your head, looking down and feeling like you don't have anything. You got a book inside of you. You got a song inside of you. You got a product inside of you. You got a service inside of you. And whatever it is time for you to act now. It is time for you to act now. Look at this camera as I'm talking to you. I release you from whatever guilt. I release you from whatever prison that you've been in. I release you from any shackles or bondages. I release you from all of the self-doubt, all of the limitations that you set on yourself, all the bondages that you allowed to be spoken over you. That is not you. You are a creator and you are a producer. And it's time for you to stand up and do what the Creator has called you to do. It's time for you to get up and produce. Be fruitful and multiply. So, do you have a consumer mindset or do you have a producer mindset? That question is all up to you. Okay, before you go, I just want to remind you that I am a mindset coach. And I do have some coaching sessions, strategy sessions available for you if you are interested in getting that mindset upgraded, getting yourself ready to go out and be fruitful and multiply. Get rid of these stumbling blocks. Get rid of these self-limiting beliefs. It's time for you to let go of all of those things that's been holding you back and let's move forward. So if that's you and you're looking to change your life, change your attitude, change your mindset, change your revenue, it's time for you to book a call with me today. So if you look down into the description, there is a link for my Calendly so that you can go to that link, click on it, and schedule a 30-minute strategy session with me. It's absolutely free. And then we can come up with a plan at this point to see how we can work together to get you from point A to point B. Wherever you are, we want to get you up and going, in motion. That's the plan. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you're having a wonderful week. Shalom, y'all.